When I was a kid, my grandparents used to own a tiny coffee farm in the Colombian Andes, out of town, where my family liked to spend vacation. It was more or less half an hour away from the nearest village, so other farms/houses were relatively far away from each other. On New Year's Eve, perhaps some 10 years ago, after being in the village with some friends until around 11 p.m, we were getting back on foot. It was the kind of walk alongside a dark highway in the mountains that, once in a while, gets lit by some passing vehicles. That's not the spooky part though. When we got to the farm, my parents, aunts, uncles and grandparents turned on the music and told my older brother and me to go and walk our dog because he was barking like crazy. So we did, and we headed to the road right in front of the house at more or less 11:45 p.m. It wasn't really dangerous because it was a dirt old road, more like a path, where cars hardly passed. The two of us were right before the farm's gates when, out of the blue, our dog stood unusually still, looking at something in the darkness. My brother and I then realized our dog was looking at a man, standing at some 8 meters away from us. At first we thought he might be some neighbor, some peasant who lived nearby, so we didn't take it seriously. After 5 minutes or so, my brother told me there was something fishy about that guy. He hadn't moved a muscle since we first caught sight of him. He was looking at us literally like a ghost, and the way he was standing was even creepier. Imagine a soldier in line and his body facing some bushes, but his head turned 45 degrees so he can glance at you. No human being could have that posture for that long. Besides, it was New Year's Eve, for fuck's sake. How come was there a guy on his own lurking around? The more my brother and I whispered about what other logical explanations there might be, the creepier the whole thing became. I remember I was surprised our dog wasn't barking, because he usually does so with strangers. We decided to go back to the house and tell our dad there was a weird guy outside. We tied our dog up in the front yard and then headed to the farm's gates with Dad. When we were about to point out the place where we'd seen the guy, surprise, surprise, there was no one. Dad just told us to go back because it was about to be midnight. After some years, we learnt that in that region, many people believe that ghosts show up in certain spots, so witnesses come to that place later and dig for some treasure, huaca, one. As far as I was concerned though, that happens only with native indigenous tribes that used to inhabit certain areas centuries prior. However, what my brother and I saw was nothing like an indigenous person. Up until now, we have no idea who that guy was.